The joint practices between the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions were absolute cinema. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. And man, I know I wasn't able to talk about the training camp practice from yesterday, but we're kind of just going to do a big wrap up today for both days and talk about just the majority of everything, not just like the itty bitty details, just the majority of everything as we look on to this next preseason game. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is being sponsored by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Right now, BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Now, I'm not good at math, but if you put down $1,000, that means you're going to have about $1,250 to work with. Now, if you ask me, that's a deal. Now, the season hasn't started yet, but you could put down some player prop bets before the season even starts. If you check out the quarterback prop bet for 30+ touchdowns, you'll see Daniel Jones all the way at the bottom. And for everybody that thinks Daniel Jones and the offense are going to succeed this year, that's plus 4,000. I mean, I would take that. I mean, Jones with Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, a couple of running backs that can catch the ball at the backfield, Theo Johnson, and a revamped offensive line, he may hit 30+ touchdowns. And if you bet now, you'll win big. Click the link below and make sure you guys use the promo code JOIN125. And as always, bet responsibly. All right, guys, forgive my appearance. I just got out of work and I'm trying to make this video up now because I'm going to be doing something tomorrow. So I'm going to be recording 2 videos, one today and one for tomorrow. And I know I need a haircut. I get it. I see it. The Giants were matching the physicality of the Detroit Lions. This is something that we did not see last year. One of the biggest kind of telling points that of where I thought the Giants were as a team versus where I saw the Detroit Lions as a team last year was their joint practice and their preseason game. Tell that the Lions really improved their roster and their kind of team chemistry and just their culture as a whole. The Giants were obviously lacking that last year, and there just wasn't enough juice there for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. This is obviously the same coaching staff. We have a new defensive coordinator, sure, but it just seems like they are matching the physicality of the Detroit Lions. Now, there are new pieces in there, right? There are new weapons out there and new trench players out there that are matching the physicality and kind of equaling the talent of the Detroit Lions. But man, it was honestly like a clash of titans. I know Detroit Lions fans probably think of the Giants as a terrible team, but you could see that the Lions players were kind of struggling versus the Giants, and it was absolutely insane. There have been multiple reports. The guys from The Athletic, the guy Dan Duggan, who covers the Giants at The Athletic, and also the Detroit Lions writer from The Athletic, both said that they have not seen this type of intensity and physicality in a training camp practice in their careers. So that is really telling to how crazy this joint practice was. And I know we're gonna get a lot of old heads, and forgive me for calling you guys old if you guys are, but get with the program, man. I love seeing this physicality. This is exactly what you want in a football team. Absolute grit. You guys saw Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions. This is that team. They are physical. I'm not taking offense to it whatsoever. They're fighting our guys, and our guys are fighting back. And even our guys, some of our guys are starting the fights as well. This is what I want to see. It is all in a controlled environment. Nobody's concussing each other. Nobody's hurting each other. Nobody's causing serious injury. They are just out there being passionate and just showing their dog in them. I mean, hell, we even got Daniel Jones to step out of his shell for a little bit and actually contribute to a fight. When do you ever see quarterbacks actually do that? Let alone Daniel Jones. He's a guy that doesn't involve himself in anything. The guy doesn't even smile. So this is the type of energy, this is the type of passion that I want to see from this New York Giants team that I feel like has been lacking, even going back to before Dable, even going back to before Joe Judge days. I know a lot of people wanted to run through a wall for Joe Judge. There was the whole doing the laps thing, and even the fans started doing it too. But I don't care about any of that. I don't care about the fans culture. I don't care about any of the outside stuff. I care about the inside stuff. And they were getting into it. They were matching physicality. They weren't just, oh man, I'm just not gonna lay a hand. Malik Neighbors was throwing punches, and he even caught some punches too. Listen, I am as unbiased as they come. Malik Neighbors ate some of them. And trust me, I'm all about staying safe. I'm not out here trying to hurt anybody. I get that. But listen, guys, this is a contact sport. This is one of the most gruesome contact sports on the planet right now. This is one of the few contact sports that have protection for almost every part of your body. If you aren't a fan of violence, then just why are you watching football? Go watch soccer or something where a touch on the shoulder results in a penalty, or basketball or something. Like football is a contact sport. I get it. You know, we're trying to be safe as we can, but we have to encourage the passion and physicality and have these guys leaving it all out on the field. We got Theo Johnson getting into it with a high caliber player like Aiden Hutchinson. We got Trey Hawkins throwing dudes. And during that Malik Neighbors and Kirby Joseph fight, who I heard Kirby Joseph got smacked around by a lot of different players at many different times. Devin Singletary, you see him in the background throwing punches as well, getting ready to fight. I want to see these guys out there defending each other. That, honestly, if you see that shows that there is camaraderie there. There's chemistry with the team. There's a family-like culture that is brewing there. And how about Daniel Jones, man? He really went out there and competed. I don't believe he got intercepted in both of these days. For sure not today. I don't know about yesterday. Maybe you guys can correct me on that. But the man went 8 for 8 on 7-on-7s and 7 of 10 on 11-on-11s. And the 3 incompletions all came in the beginning consecutively to Malik Neighbors, and I guess he was perfect throughout that. Throwing absolute beauties out there. Now, there is problems with placement with Daniel Jones. I get that. You know, that Malik Neighbors kind of fade to the end zone. Listen, you got to throw it to the outside shoulder. It was a little bit like directly behind Malik Neighbors, but listen, this is why we got a guy like Malik Neighbors to adjust and make catches like that, where a guy like Daniel Jones doesn't have to throw a pitch perfect football for it to be a touchdown. A lot of times, the difference between a touchdown and not a touchdown or a completed pass is the receiver's ability to catch the ball, because you know quarterbacks can throw it and it could be at any different spot. I mean, the quarterbacks are not going to throw perfect balls all the time, but you can honestly see the difference between last year's training camp and this year's training camp with the weapons that Daniel Jones has at his disposal. You know, last year we were dealing with Darius Slayton being our best option. We saw Jalen Hyatt, he was kind of working his way up there as a rookie, but we knew that Jalen Hyatt was very limited as a receiver. He wasn't able to run the routes as a normal NFL receiver would, and he just wasn't a guy to run those in-breaking routes. He kind of had a special niche. He was a deep threat. Now we're seeing Jalen Hyatt. He's running routes, actually beating defensive backs on out routes and things like that, in routes, stuff that we didn't see from Jalen Hyatt before. He's working on his releases. He is improving very well as an NFL receiver, something that I thought would happen as he would progress. You guys know that I wasn't a big fan of the Jalen Hyatt drafting, but I was looking to the bright side, hoping that he was going to develop. And the biggest difference to me was the trenches. They were physical as hell. Offensive line, obviously, Dexter Lawrence dominates at everything he does. There's not many guys who's going to compete with Dexter Lawrence. It is what it is. You've got Brian Burns giving work to Taylor Decker and Kayvon Thibodeau doing the same. On the offensive side of the football, Andrew Thomas just doing Andrew Thomas things. I saw a clip of him handling Marcus Davenport. We got John Runyon, I believe versus Aleem McNeil. And then Greg Van Roten also putting in work as well. And we even saw Jermaine Illuminor, who I think is clear-cut the right tackle. Look at this rep versus Aiden Hutchinson. Like, this is not something that Evan Neal could ever dream of doing. And trust me, I'm not here to rag on Evan Neal. I'm not trying to twist the knife on Evan Neal because I know he's hurt. But it is the obvious option that Jermaine Illuminor is the right tackle. Evan Neal should not be there just due to him being a draft pick. So that's the type of physicality that I want to see. That is the emphasis, and that is the biggest takeaway that I can gather from these joint practices and comparing it to last year. Physicality. I don't care if we win the game or not in the preseason game. That's obviously not what preseason games are for. Would you like the score, our score, to be bigger than theirs? Sure, but at the end of the day, that's not what I'm looking for. If you watched last year, that game was 21-16, a close enough game, but you can see that the Lions were a lot more physical in that game. It didn't look nearly as close as the score presented it. Now, this could be just pure speculation, but I knew that the Lions were going to be the team that they were last year. It was no surprise to me, just based on how physical they were in the preseason and what I was able to see to them and how they were dominating our team last year. And on the same token, I knew that the Giants were just not up to par to these higher caliber teams because of what I saw versus the Lions last year. But to me, with how the Giants stood on business versus the Lions in these joint practices, and we'll see what happens in the preseason game, I mean, this really... I think the Giants may be a different team this year, just based off of culture, just based on camaraderie, chemistry, a family-like setting, that I think they're really going to play for each other. Not only that, they also have more talent. I know this is a harder schedule. I don't even have the Giants having a good season this season, but they may surprise some, man. That's all I got for you guys today. I will be live for the preseason game Thursday night. Also, the NFC East Roundtable, we are doing it at 5:30. If you guys are not subscribed, the link is in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe to the NFC East Roundtable. It will be at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's a live stream. We're doing it a little bit earlier due to the Giants having a preseason game on Thursday. So, that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next video.